his talents not being on display, Chelsea should have enough to today, you would think, be crowned champions.
It's a new deck season. Make sure your deck is ready for it with new PPG tire. Relaxing or raising a ruckus.
If you're just joining us this afternoon, a big welcome along to Friday Premier League football presented by Dave and Buster's. One game, as you can see on the left of your screen, has literally just kicked off at Goodison Park. Everton against Watford is available for you over on Premier League Extra Time right now. Our big game, though, the one at the Hawthorns, West Brom against Chelsea, doesn't kick off for a few more minutes. The day that Chelsea, of course, could win the league with all 3 points. A reminder of the team news. First, Robbie with West Brom.
Yeah, Ben Foster's a real solid citizen. He's played every minute of every Premier League game so far this season, keeping 6 clean sheets in the process. There was a bit of a doubt at centre-back. Johnny Evans got a knock in the draw against Burnley, but he's able to play with Macaulay, Dawson and Nyoma, no-nonsense defenders. Ahead of them, it's a 4-1-4-1 system. Darren Fletcher has an important role to protect that back four, maybe pick up Eden Hazard when he comes in narrow. Ahead of him, Brunt and McLean in the wide areas, both left-footed, will get service into the box. They know their roles when they're out of possession. Young Sam Field makes his 4th Premier League start of the season. And in attack, Solomon Rondon's got 8 goals in 35 Premier League appearances. He got 9 goals in 34 last season, so he's got 3 matches to at least equal last year's return.
Thanks, Robbie. Before we get to the Chelsea team, a reminder of what a past 2 years it's been for Chelsea. In May 2015, the Blues under Jose Mourinho celebrated their 4th Premier League title, but things turned sour at the start of last season as they lost 9 of their first 16 league games. Sitting 1 point above the bottom 3 just before Christmas, they fired the self-proclaimed special one for a 2nd time. In came Gus Hiddink on an interim basis, and while he did save them from the drop, they could still only manage a 10th place finish. But it all turned around last summer when Antonio Conte, who'd never managed in English football before, took charge, and the West Londoners have dominated the Premier League this season, finishing each match week top since mid-November, and that leads us to today, when the Blues will become champions of England for a 6th time if they beat West Brom. Their team looks like this, Kyle.
It's a team that Antonio Conte trusts to win the title today, and why? It's the team he's been trusting most of the season, and Courtois is the goalkeeper that sits right behind this remarkable back three. And buying David Luiz was questioned, but not anymore, with his performances just stellar in the middle of that back line. N'Golo Kante's available, but doesn't come back into the side as Cesc Fabregas gets to enjoy that position as a deep playmaker next to Matic. Ahead, it's all about Eden Hazard, and Pedro was interchanging with Willian through most of the season, but Pedro's made that position his own through this final stretch, and obviously when he's fit, Diego Costa starts up top.
A quick reminder of how Antonio Conte is feeling pre-match.
Antonio, you know, one more win and you are champions. So what will be your last message to your players before the game tonight?
The message is simple: to play always to take 3 points. But for sure, it won't be easy because we all know that West Bromwich is a really good team. But yeah, we are ready. We are ready to fight. We are ready to fight to take 3 points.
How much do you think the job for your players tonight is about focus and mentality?
It's the same. It's the same like the other games, and it's important for us to start the game very well, very focused, with a great concentration, to try to do what we know, our football, and then to try to win.
So just remind you once more of the scenarios. Chelsea will win the title today if they beat West Brom. They can draw today and still win it on Sunday as long as Tottenham drop points at home to Manchester United. They can even lose today. Would you believe that, against West Bromwich Albion? Don't know if that'll happen. And Tottenham lose on Sunday against Manchester United. They would still then, on Sunday, be crowned champions. Ultimately, they know they just need the 3 points from their final 3 matches to win the Premier League. Let's rejoin our commentary team at the Hawthorns then. Arlo, Lee and Graham are getting set and ready to go. Gentlemen, if they do clinch this title today, and it is that 6th top-flight win, Arlo, just how significant an achievement for you guys would that be?
Well, looking at it historically, Rebecca, they would draw level on 6 titles with Sunderland. Only 5 clubs in the whole of English football have more top-flight titles in the history of the game here. So they're starting to make inroads into the higher echelons in terms of titles in the game. Same 11 here as was mentioned. N'Golo Kanté is on the bench. Antonio Conte is a man that you've admired all season, or both of you have, and something he said before the game has caught your interest, Lee.
Yeah, one of his quotes said, you've got to, first when you're putting a team together, you've got to find men and then good players, and when he came to this club he found great men and great players, and I think that sums the way he goes about talking about his team, the way he coaches his team, and the team is manly. You know, I mean, they weren't very manly the season before, so you have to give all the credit to him. Same bunch of players, I think Robbie's mentioned in the studio, didn't spend that much, team is virtually the same, but the way he's formulated the formation, etc., is all down to him, and the players have taken his message on board, and they've just been brilliant this season.
What did you pick up in the warm-up?
Well, they were exactly as Lee said, the standard set by the manager, the tempo, the culture of any team is set by the manager, and how serious he takes that in the details. And just in the warm-up, they look intense but happy, focused but calm. So they're really in the moment, Chelsea, and you can see that they're just oozing confidence and enjoying their football, but enjoying working hard for each other as well.
Is there any chance tonight, Tony Pulis with West Brom in poor form since they got to 40 points, that he does a man-marking job on Eden Hazard?
Well, if he signs a couple of players before the game, yeah, because I honestly don't think they've got a player in their squad who can do a Herrera, for instance, like they did against Manchester United.
OK, Rebecca, there are 5 top-flight titles on the gantry between the 3 of us here. Join us for kick-off.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Right, done deal? Chelsea going to win it today?
Done deal, Rebecca. And I'm thinking about the 2 managers, 2 very different managers. Antonio Conte, before the Middlesbrough game, came out with something. He said, time for the kill. And I just can almost imagine him in a white robe, the Roman Emperor, with his thumb in the middle of that dressing room and giving it one of those to his team, like, let's go and get this done. They want to get this done. In the other dressing room, Tony Pulis in his tracksuit and in his baseball cap will be saying, you saw those boxes of champagne being delivered in that dressing room. We want to make sure they go back on the coach and they go on ice at least till Sunday or Monday. They don't come and do it here. So they'll have a reason, they'll be motivated to make sure that Chelsea don't come on their patch and are popping the champagne after and enjoying a nice night.
But it's not a huge motivation for West Brom, is it, Carl?
Well, the tough part is motivation's great. What's the strategy? So, yeah, get up for the game, try to match them, try to match their intensity, try to make it difficult. But then how do you, as they were joking, Eden Hazard, is he going to man-mark him? Absolutely not. There's just other ways that they're going to be able to kill you. Do you open yourself up? Do you press a little bit and try to, get up 1-0 and then Tony Pulis do what he's done many times before, sit back on that result? You open yourself up for a second against Chelsea, they're just going to bury you.
What's really interesting, and just I was going to say over the warm-up chats, Diego Costa in this defence have got history. There's been a time when McCauley's had a pop at him, Evans had a pop at him, Dawson has a go, and they almost have a bit of a strategy to wind Diego Costa up and see if he bites. Now, it'll be interesting to see if the centre-forward focuses on the job, understands what's the bigger picture in making sure he gets his goal, because this West Brom team have got a bit of experience and a bit of know-how, and they aren't going to let people like Diego Costa come on their own patch and have their own run of things.
OK, that's something to keep an eye out for. Gentlemen, thank you. Let's take you live into the tunnel at the Hawthorns. The two teams ready to go. We're almost there to kick off. Chelsea are almost there. Tottenham really are the only ones who provided a real threat, but Chelsea have almost seen them off. Today's the clincher for Conte & Co. Back to Arlo next.
Hi guys, it's great to be here. In the desert, at the mall, on the mountain, at school.
It's a new
Three more points required for Chelsea to seal the Premier League title. Gary Cahill will lead them out. Darren Fletcher, formerly of Manchester United, 5 Premier League titles to his name, of course, will lead out the Baggies in just a few moments' time. Chelsea require one more win from their remaining 3 games to win the Premier League title. Their first chance is tonight, here at the Hawthorns against a West Brom side who are winless in 6 games. The Blues chase glory against the Baggies, next on NBCSN.
Heineken tastes perfect.
Welcome to Friday Premier League football, presented by Dave and Buster's. The two managers greet each other, Antonio Conte and Tony Pulis, and we are set to go here. He'll become the 5th manager to win the Premier League title in his first season, the 3rd to do it at Chelsea. He'll join Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, Manuel Pellegrini and Claudio Ranieri. It will be the 4th successive season in club football that he will have won the title, having ended his Juventus career with 3 Serie A titles before becoming manager of the Italian national side. Well, it's 270 days since Antonio Conte began his Premier League career with a home win over West Ham United. 26 more wins later, after 152 straight nights at the summit, the Blues stand on the brink of history. A 5th Premier League title will be confirmed with a win here over West Bromwich Albion. If they only draw, then Spurs would need to beat Manchester United on Sunday. Chelsea would then need to beat Watford on Monday night to seal it. The only way this title race can go to the final day, as Thibaut Courtois has to tip over an early effort, and it's a corner kick to West Bromwich Albion, and maybe it won't go quite to plan. We'll see.
That's a brilliant ball in, and that's a decent header as well, and Courtois has got to tip that over. That's going in the top corner. He gets in front of Luis Rondon. Just going to go under the bar, I think, or onto it, but can't take any chances there. Good start.
Lee Dixon and Graham Lasso alongside me. Chelsea defending the goal, behind which their 3,000 travelling fans are housed. It's a deep service, it's over the head of Johnny Evans, and it's a goal kick. Some of those Chelsea fans bought their tickets a long time ago. There are stories circulating around that some West Brom fans have put their tickets on the market, and they've been selling for upwards of $2,500 to Chelsea fans who wanted to travel north and witness a slice of history for their club. There's the first diagonal ball of the night from Cesc Fabregas, which was so profitable against Middlesbrough in that 3-0 win on Monday night. We were there, Graham, and you were talking about that as a tactic. I wonder if it will bear fruit tonight.
Well, with Fabregas in the team, as we saw against Middlesbrough on Monday, if you give him any space, he can punish you, and that right-footed pass into that left channel is a favourite of those talented midfield players. So we'll see. They were obviously very much in tune with that. Chelsea, Hazard playing down this left-hand side, Alonso linking up with them as well. So it's going to be interesting to see whether anybody actually presses Fabregas, goes to mark him, Lee.
Well, at the moment, if you just look his position, he's sitting in that little hole in front of his own back four, no one anywhere near him. 2 or 3 times now I've looked at him and there's not a white shirt near him, so that's quite ominous as far as West Brom are concerned, because, as you pointed out, that long diagonal just then, not too damaging from 60 yards away from your goal, but get anywhere near the goal and he can pinpoint that to perfection.
Thibaut Courtois, who turned 25 on Thursday. It will be his 3rd title in 4 seasons, 2 at Chelsea, 1 with Atletico Madrid in 2014. Chelsea fans in good voice early on in the piece here at the Hawthorns. Alonso underneath this one with Jake Livermore does well to head it on towards Hazard, and then the youngster Sam Field intervenes. It's only his 4th Premier League start. Chelsea have emerged from that slight wobble of losing against Crystal Palace and Manchester United in fine style. They've beaten Everton, Southampton and Middlesbrough, scoring 10 goals in the process. They went to the top of the league on December the 11th after beating West Brom at Stamford Bridge, and they've been there ever since. Hazard. Matic.
Well, we saw against Middlesbrough, Traore not wanting to track Alonso all the way back in that deep position on the left.
Costa finds Alonso, scored his 6th Premier League goal of the season against Borough, a result which sent Middlesbrough down on the night. Azpilicueta, now Moses, Pedro, Costa, Alonso in the penalty area. Hazard hovering on the edge, tries the give and go with Pedro, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, just finishing that point off, he'll find a different prospect for Chris Brunt, because he's a seasoned pro. He knows the game out on this wide right-hand side more often than not on the left, but he will give him a bit more of a run for his money tracking back, and he's also decent going forward, so that's an interesting duo to keep your eye on.
Ben Foster was collecting Player of the Year awards aplenty on the field before the game, wasn't he? Gentlemen, he's been in fine form for West Bromwich Albion between the posts this season.
Been quite busy, isn't he, during certain spells of the season. Interesting there, the contrast between the two teams when the goalkeeper has the ball from a goal kick. Chelsea were desperate to play it out from the back. Azpilicueta and Cahill were almost on the bylines, whereas as soon as Foster got the ball, long ball down the centre looking for Pedro. Can he take it first time? He tried to loft it over an advancing Foster. Would have been a magnificent finish. But an early danger sign there, the long ball down the centre to the advancing Pedro. Yeah, I was going to say, when Foster had the ball at a goal kick, there were 20 players in one area of the pitch, so it was no nonsense, long ball into an area.
Fabregas, Brunt getting back, doing his defensive work to prevent Alonso scampering away down the left-hand side. Matic, they don't mind going long and accurate here, Chelsea in the early stages, to their front runners. Nazar finds Azpilicueta, continues his run towards the edge of the penalty area. Alonso stealing in at the back post, and Brunt had to be watchful again, and it's a corner to Chelsea.
Yeah, as pointed out, he's going to be busy, Brunt, but as I said, he's a willing runner back there. This again is Fabregas, and I think Pedro half knows that Foster is off his line there. Just fails with the technique, but great effort, I say great effort, great chance to lob it over him.
Fabregas sent off here a couple of seasons ago. Curls in the corner. Johnny Evans got that clear, former Manchester United man who immediately waves his defence to the edge of the semicircle outside the penalty area. It's a well-drilled back line, but West Brom, gentlemen, are in 8th place, 2 points clear of Leicester, who could be dethroned as champions tonight, of course. But the Baggies have hit the doldrums since reaching the coveted 40-point mark on February the 25th. They've won 1 of their 9 games since. That was here against Arsenal. They failed to score in 7 of them. The 2-2 draw at Burnley last weekend ended a run of 5 scoreless Premier League games. It's remarkable and surely worrying for a player, a manager I should say, like Tony Pulis, with so much pride and determination, that his teams, and it goes back to his Stoke days and Crystal Palace, tend to falter once they've hit that 40-point mark to ensure safety. Have they got a little sting in the tail before the end of the season to upset the odds at the top of the table? We'll have to wait and see. Hazard is fouled by Dawson.
Yeah, arm across Hazard's face here as he goes past Dawson down the line. There it is. Definitely blocks him with an outstretched arm. You see it there. It's a great opportunity positionally here for Fabregas with the quality he's got.
Michael Oliver is our referee. He wanted Cesc Fabregas to wait for the whistle there. His 31st Premier League game of the season, the most of any referee. Fabregas kills it easily to the back post. Sliding in there was Gary Cahill, who has 6 Premier League goals himself this season. Almost made it 7.
Nearly a perfect ball, just a little bit overhit. You see him going round the back there. He makes his first run towards the goal, which just makes the angle a little bit difficult. He's not far off, is he? I just love watching Fabregas pass the ball. Give him all that time, though, just his technique. Any kid watching football, how to pass the ball long and short. He seems to hit the pace of every ball perfectly, short and long.
Courtois looking for Alonso. Flag stays down, he kept the ball in play. Tony Pulis doesn't look happy down beneath us in his pristine white sneakers.
Can't believe you said that before me.
I know, thought I'd get that observation in early.
It's normally my line.
I couldn't let it go 9 minutes. Fabregas lobs it in the area towards Costa. Costa against Macaulay. Macaulay did well. The veteran defender.
Well, he did do well, Arlo, because in the area there, Costa's so strong back to the goal. he looked vulnerable for a moment. Macaulay did well to keep his position and block the ball.
It was a mistake by Macaulay that led to Costa's winner when the sides met in December at Stamford Bridge. It was the 9th straight win for Chelsea in a run of eventually 13, which equalled the top flight winning record in English football.
Look at that line, West Brom's line, 5 straight across the back.
Pedro, left-footed. Found the top corner at Goodison Park, not so at the Hawthorns.
I think he miscounted, there was 6. And 1 trying to get back as well to make 7.
Scored his first Premier League goal here, his first goal for Chelsea last season in a 3-2 win on his debut. There's Sam Field, the youngster for West Brom, turned 19 this week, started at Burnley last weekend. A West Brom fan, he joined the club aged 8, so a big part of his career. Made his debut against Liverpool on the final day last season, highly rated of course by Tony Pulis, and here he is.
Well, he looks about 9 now. Fresh-faced.
Tall figure in the centre of the park, isn't he, as well?
Just looking down at Jake Leadmore, he's absolutely enormous. He's definitely been on the weights. Here he is.
Nice first touch. Shame about the second. Here's Alonso. Fabregas. Alonso making another burst down the left-hand side. A run traced by Brunt. The dummy by Hazard. Eden Hazard. Good challenge. Took the sting out of the attempt, and it was easy in the end for Foster.
Well, how easy did Chelsea make that look? I mean, West Brom, their first thought is to get McLean and Brunt back into defensive positions and have that block, whether it's 5, 6 players and a couple in front, but Chelsea moving the ball well. I think the important thing for them in this system is the fact that Azpilicueta on the right and Cahill on the left are prepared to go forwards with the ball. That engages a West Brom midfield player, and that opens space up.
Pedro. Matic. Moves the ball away to Field. That cannons off Hazard, kindly for Fabregas. Now Moses. Cahill joins the attack. Oh, lovely bit of skill by Pedro. He befuddled Dawson. There's the cross. Claims of handball at the near post against Brunt, but it's only a corner kick.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Brunt, and he immediately looked to the referee himself. It kind of suggests sometimes you've done something wrong. Great turn from Pedro, and then he gets to the byline. Cross. Puts his arm up. Is that intentional? We'll get a better view here. I think he's probably close enough to the ball to give the benefit of the doubt there, but he wasn't far off, and he was a bit worried because he looked at Michael Oliver's and said, please don't give it.
Well, the arm's definitely, the lower part of the arm's out, isn't it? But I agree with Lee.
Fabregas gives the ball away. He was looking for Moses. And away goes McLean, and he's got a runner on the left-hand side who is Rondon. Hazard desperately trying to get back, and he sends it just behind Salomon Rondon. Chelsea have regrouped. Cross comes in. Fletcher shoots at the crowd, and it was charged down by Matic, who now marauds forward into West Brom territory. He rolls it to the feet of Costa in the penalty area. There's the cutback, there's the opportunity for Pedro, and it was well blocked again, this time by Sam Field, who had traced his run all the way back. End-to-end stuff here at the Hawthorns. Flag up on the near side, Chelsea free kick.
Well, that's the problem Rondon's got, is he's not the quickest, so he has to almost cheat a little bit just to try and get a run on the defender. That's twice now he's been offside. This is a great opportunity for West Brom here. McLean's got to do better with this ball. He gets his head down, fails to get it up in time, and then plays the ball behind Rondon. Allows Chelsea to get back.
He's not slow, he's been chased by Hazard. I think the angle of his runs just to let Hazard get back, otherwise it would have been a 2v1 right up to the edge of the box. They've missed a trick there, West Brom, but at least they're having a go.
trying to hit Chelsea on the break.
Foul on the far side. Michael Oliver is playing an advantage here for Chelsea. Here's Cahill. Hazard. Tony Pulis said we'll be doing our damnedest to make this a competitive game. Said I don't think Antonio Conte or anyone at Chelsea would expect any different. Pedro has been very lively in the opening stages. Hazard lets it run again. Fabregas had Moses just making that run in behind McLean, the left wing back. Hazard again. Azpilicueta. Fabregas. Here's Costa. Macaulay, the 37-year-old, defends well. Neom gets it clear, but it's a free kick. There's a foul about 5 or 6 yards outside the penalty area.
Fletcher, he didn't really do a lot. I'm not having that as a foul. I mean, and that one, I'm not sure either. I think Costa wanted one. Certainly Azpilicueta wanted one. Fletcher complained about both of them. But this is a dangerous position because it's got the angle, not too far out, and you've got Magic Man on the ball.
And it's got an in-swinger on this occasion, whereas the other one was swinging into the goal but away from the player. This is swinging towards the oncoming Chelsea players.
Ben Foster has set a two-man wall. Cahill coming in at the back post, but he's gone square to Pedro with the right foot, takes a deflection and goes wide.
Yeah, good free kick. Really good training ground. We'll push the back line in. They're worried about that ball on the edge of the 6-yard box, so West Brom are going to go back naturally. That's where it's important you hold your line.
Here's Moses. Azpilicueta always scores against West Brom, it seems. He's only got 2 Premier League goals in over 150 games, both in separate games against West Brom, but he's earned his side another corner. He's just peering over beneath us to Antonio Conte, who was giving him some instructions. Seen a number of inventive set pieces from Chelsea over the course of the season and the last couple of weeks. I suppose when you're not playing in European competition, you do get more time on the training ground. Time they won't have next season. McLean steps inside of Moses. Run on the far side is Neom's got Rondon in the penalty area. Runs on the overlap. Neom again, left-footed cross. Johnny Emmers has joined the attack. He could keep this ball in play. He does so. Arriving in supporters' field, he's got some time to pick his spot here. Cross goes in. Luis got ahead to it. Alonso helps it on his way out of the penalty area. West Bromwich Albion are offering 1 or 2 problems to Chelsea on the counter-attack.
Yeah,
until they get to the final third.
Yeah, McLean missed another big trick there. The space opened up on that left-hand side. It was the pace and the angle of the ball. Almost a tired, lazy ball out there. You put that ball in front of the player and he's through on goal. Not enough pace on it. And that's the quality you get from top players. Every ball has the right pace on it.
Hazard, here's Fabregas. Lovely back heel to Hazard. Now Costa thinks about a shot, takes the second attempt. Fabregas was trying to get in on the rebound. Dawson drops it back to the goalkeeper. Azpilicueta again. Now Matic scored his first Premier League goal of the season and his first ever at Stamford Bridge on Monday night. Costa, closed down by Macaulay. And field clears with intention. Out towards Rondon, who's closed down by Luis. Well defended by the Brazilian.
Yeah, it looked like he was in control of that situation for the whole time, but excellent ball there by Sam Field. It's played into a dangerous area. Takes the pressure off the West Brom back line as well. There they are, Lee, straight back into shape.
Yeah, just relying on numbers.
Pedro.
just think where West Brom are in the league, though, in their season and everything. I suppose it's not Tony Pulis, but just to come out and just be a little bit more adventurous and just play a little bit more width up front and give Rondon a little bit more support. He probably had a couple of breakaways, and Tony Pulis is happy with that, but do something different. Chelsea expect you to do this to him, and that's exactly what they're doing.
You get an idea of the approach when a player like Nacer Chadli's on the bench. But he is available to come on a little later in the game if necessary. West Brom have been 8th since New Year's Eve. Heavy challenge on the far side is a foul. McLean isn't happy. Neither is his manager Tony Pulis. But it's a yellow card as well.
Yeah, not for the foul, for the reaction afterwards. He absolutely hammered the referee and the assistant referee. Moses there, you see, plays the ball through McLean's legs.
He's into double figures for the season for yellow cards.
I just wonder if we're going to see another cutback free kick here. How big West Brom are as defenders. Any ball into the box, sort of playing to their strengths.
Fabregas floats it in. Costa was there, and here's Cahill. Into the corner.
Yeah, you'd be foolish to get caught out twice on the trot. So Fabregas just knocking it into the danger area, and Cahill nearly getting one of his customary goals in the box at set pieces, but men back.
Hazard. Moses on the opposite flank to normal. Into the penalty area goes. The challenge came in. It's a goal kick. Chris Brunt trots away.
Oh, good decision from the referee. Graham, do you think Tony Pulis, his mindset is not to get humiliated at home towards the end of the season, and if they're going to get beat 1-0 or something like that?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's the way he plays, isn't it? I think he's looked at his players, he's stuck in his way with his players and thinks, well, this is what they're good at. They're a hard-working, physical team, so we've got to play to our strength, and he's obviously showing Chelsea a huge amount of respect. We saw Middlesbrough try to do the same, but they were like mannequins out of the Middlesbrough players, weren't they? The decisions they were making, they're not as well drilled as West Brom, and West Brom have better quality in the way that they play. But yeah, it's a free hit for them, isn't it? So maybe as the game goes on, he might try something a bit more expansive.
All 6 of Chelsea's efforts so far in the game have been off target. Tony Pulis as a manager, though, has managed remarkable consistency. Never finished higher than 11th in 7 complete seasons as a manager, so he has a chance to do that here. He's never finished lower than 14th. Dawson down the right-hand side, inside of Alonso. Brunt in support. He prefers on his left foot, and he gets it on his left foot, but in the end it was easy for Courtois.
But that's why he'll always be in work, because there'll always be clubs that want a 11 to 14 team. Some of the teams down the bottom, you snap your hand off for that now in the Premier League. And those stay there all the time.
Those teams are Stoke City, Crystal Palace and West Bromwich Albion.
There you go.
He'll be more than happy with that. His lowest point total is 42. His highest point total is 47 in all those seasons. This will be season number 8. He's got 45 at the moment.
I think where they can be a little bit more ambitious is situations like that where Brunt crosses the ball in and Rondon's the only player in there against 3 Chelsea defenders. If they can release a midfield player occasionally to get up there, then they're obviously doubling their chances of hitting a target.
Yeah, but if you look at those midfield players, Fletcher, Livermore and Field, it's not their game, is it? So horses for courses and all that, which is absolutely Tony Pulis. It sounds like we're having a go at him. We're not. We're actually being complimentary.
Backhanded compliment.
Yeah. But it is that situation when his teams get to 40 points. In the last 8 seasons, including this one, his teams have won 5 out of 41 Premier League games. That's 32 points out of the 123 on offer. So those 11th place finishes could have been higher. Now, often it has been the case that he's reached 40 points later in the season than this. But it's become a trend for a Tony Pulis side in the Premier League. 24th minute here at the Hawthorns, 0-0. Most of the pressure, as you would expect, has come from the champions-elect. Hazard into the area. Eden Hazard. The challenge from Johnny Evans. Ball still in play. Rondon unable to evade Matic. And here's Luis.
He's done well there, Evans, because it looked like Hazard was the wrong side of him.
Diagonal ball into the area towards Hazard. Look at that control. And he's got Alonso in support. Pedro screaming for it on the corner. He was spotted by Livermore. He goes one further to Matic. Fabregas. Azpilicueta. Straight to Foster.
He's got his West Brom head on, hasn't he? Azpilicueta shooting from everywhere.
First shot on target.
Is this Hazard lovely little 1-2 with Pedro, and just there you see Evans get his arm across Hazard. Not a foul, uses his body well. Slightly different to the Dawson challenge on Hazard outside the box where the arm came across the face. Fine margins.
Costa was looking for Hazard. Fletcher looking for McLean. Here's Cahill.
Brunt and McLean are covering some mileage already.
In these attacks, Alonso is always level with the furthest Chelsea player forward, usually, of course, Diego Costa. Fabregas in, first time from Pedro. Costa, back to Hazard. There's a Neon challenge on Hazard, 3 yards outside the penalty area. Michael Oliver was well positioned. Hazard still down on the ground. It's a problem with the lower part of his right leg. Chris Brunt is going to kick the ball out of play. The home fans aren't happy with it.
Well, if you look at the challenge, he puts his foot in front of Neon, stretches in front, gets the touch, and then follows through. It's a foul. Whether he meant it or not, it's a foul. He's right on the edge of the box. He's got every reason to expect the referee to blow the whistle there.
A friendly reminder to everybody concerning Eden Hazard. He has scored the goal that has decided the last 2 Premier League titles. 2014-15, the winner against Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge, and last season the equaliser against Spurs, which meant that Leicester City won the title for the first time in their history. So can he make it a hat-trick either tonight, maybe on Monday? He certainly looks in the mood. Mistake by Moses, corner kick to West Bromwich Albion. And you're giving a side that lead the league in set-piece goals an opportunity here.
Just going to say, when you get a set-piece, a siren and all the lights go on in this stadium.
Chelsea have conceded the fewest, second fewest I should say. They've conceded 6, Manchester United have conceded 5, so they're well adept at defending them. And it goes, sends Johnny Evans back. Flag was up on the near side anyway against Brunt. And here come Chelsea on the counter-attack. Hazard against Neon. Pedro. Hazard available down the right-hand side. Neon steps in the way. Fabregas. Costa just strays into an offside position. Azpilicueta. Costa back onside. Over his head though.
Once again you see that connection between Fabregas and Costa. You said he strayed offside, Arlo. It was a good run. He always offers himself when Fabregas has the ball, and that just keeps the West Brom defence alert and means that they've got to keep looking over their shoulder. If there is any uncertainty, the chances are Fabregas will find him.
Darren Fletcher. Now Brunt. Dawson. Marcus Alonso chasing the first major honour of his career. Salomon Rondon, whose goal against Burnley ended an 18-match Premier League drought. His first goal since a 13-minute hat-trick against Swansea in December. Dawson has overhit that.
A great bit of work, lovely bit of skill to change direction and beat Alonso, but the cross was appalling.
Normally what happens is they run the ball out, they give it to Fabregas, everybody drops off to 30 yards away from the goal, and then he tries to pick somebody out. The pattern of the game is virtually the same every time for Chelsea.
Costa.
There you go. Time on the ball.
Here's Matic. Fletcher out to meet Fabregas. Azpilicueta tried to slide it towards Moses. McLean with the defending.
There's good patience by Chelsea. Look how high Azpilicueta is. He's meant to be a third centre-back in that back three, and yet he's playing as a sort of an inside right, isn't he, at times?
That's why I think, you know, they've got two at the back marking Rondon. They don't need any more, so they can push one along, like you said before. That's why I think sometimes if you just play another forward up front with Rondon, it just drags one of them centre-backs back.
McLean has to be a little careful. He's on a yellow card. I think it was the assistant on the far side that gave this free kick.
What he does, his decision-making there is poor, because he initially steps back, tries to slow Moses down, and then he makes just a rash couple of forward steps to make the challenge.
But that in essence is no different than the first one he got booked for. There was just a little less force in it, but it's still a booking. If he's going to book him for the first one, you book him for the second one.
I think he booked him for the first one for the way he reacted more than the challenge itself.
Fabregas with the free kick towards the back post. Cahill sends it back into the area. Alonso helps it on. Back in from Azpilicueta. Costa was standing in an offside position. Evans elected to head it. If you're Tony Pulis, are you just having the thought in your mind that you might replace McLean?
Well, yeah, he's not. He's quite reckless, isn't he? He's got so much energy, so much enthusiasm, and he's quite angry when he plays. I don't mean that as a criticism, but he likes the aggression of the game. So, yeah, he's treading a fine line.
Fabregas, low drive! And it fizzes just wide. Foster was very interested in that one.
Well, drop off this man at your peril. And he did. He didn't get close enough to him. And that's gone through legs and everything. Not even far off. A little blow of the cheeks from Foster.
In McLean's defence, he's almost playing as a left-back. Neom's going so far inside. McLean obviously hasn't got that defensive knowledge. Doesn't know how to defend a tricky winger like Moses. So he's exposed out there. Neom maybe needs to try and push him on a little bit so that he can go out and mark him.
Neom's too bothered about Pedro.
Does have Mark Wilson on the bench, a former Stoke player. James Morrison is a midfielder that might be able to do a job in that situation should he be given that task. Purely and simply because he's on a yellow card and Moses is running at him at will, McLean. Well, we'll see what happens. Here's Fletcher. Brunt. Space on the right-hand side here for Dawson. Floats it in. That should be Courtois.
Crossing practice needed for Dawson. Again, they've worked it really well out to him, and it was obvious he was going to play a ball into the box. They actually, on a rare occasion, got three bodies into the box. Once again, poor quality of cross made it very easy for Chelsea. let them off the hook.
Once again, Azpilicueta strides forward, and now Pedro. Matic. Return from Hazard. Closed down by Fletcher. Fabregas. Pedro flicks it through. Nearest player to it was Hazard.
The right idea, though, from a Chelsea perspective, isn't it? They're playing those little wall passes into each other and trying to just force a West Brom player to be drawn out of position. Playing for time already.
He won't like that, Costa. I bet there's a little sneaky one coming up for the next cross. But he looked at him when he picked the ball up, Ben Foster, and Costa went, yeah, I'm coming.
Played as well against Moses this time, and it's a goal kick. He was claiming he was fouled, and the chat towards referee Michael Oliver continues. Rondon does well. Here's Livermore, and he gets it back from Brunt. The door slammed shut by Fabregas. Look at the piece of skill by Pedro. Sam Field with a sliding challenge. Well, they're claiming that Sam Field got the ball. It's a foul and also a yellow card for the young Englishman.
What a turn again by Pedro, and he gets away. His pace gets him away from Field, and it's from behind the challenge. He hooks his leg back, doesn't win the ball in my opinion. Stops Pedro in his tracks, so the yellow card follows.
Spot on from the referee.
Sam Field, he's one of our own. There's a chance here at the Hawthorns, 19 years and 4 days old. Darren Fletcher having a chat with the manager. His contract expires at the end of the season. He's triggered an extra year, but he's yet to sign. He says there's no issue. I'm sure it'll be sorted sooner rather than later. There's no real panic. He said, from my point of view, it's a completely relaxed situation. What a signing he's been by Tony Pulis from Manchester United. Darren Fletcher immediately made captain here, and he's featured in all 89 now of West Brom's Premier League games since joining in February 2015. This is former United teammate Johnny Evans directing things at the back. Field has gone off the pitch and now comes back on again after receiving treatment. Azpilicueta. Moses. Pedro buys himself a yard. There's the curl.
Well, it doesn't matter how many men you get back. If you let a player come off, turn and shoot, you're not doing your job. Simple as that. White shirt, close the dark shirt down. Just watch this. Pedro's in space, edge of the box. Mark him tight. Peels off, not tight enough. If he can do it, it gives you the answer. If he can do that, you're not doing your job. You're not tight enough. Yes, it's good play, poor defending.
Yeah, Neom actually makes the movement away from the goal rather than protecting the goal in that situation.
Pedro was very disappointed with the effort. McLean gets the better of Moses.
Pedro's done 3 or 4 turns, hasn't he, this half. He's almost dislocated his hips to actually turn the player. It's just astonishing. His centre of gravity is so low. He's so quick off the mark.
Well, that should have been a free kick as well.
High press is on here from West Brom. Chelsea going to play their way through.
They only do one phase of high press in West Brom. Just see now they're all retreated.
Yeah, they drop off very quickly, don't they?
That's because they're really bad at it. Do what you're good at.
Until Lee got stuck on the motorway the way here.
Have I gone a bit grumpy old man? I have a bit, haven't I? I'm going to have to have a little word with myself at half-time.
We've got half-time to regroup. Here's Neom. Oh, it's over. Luis, it almost fell for Livermore on the edge of the penalty area.
Well, there's the extra man trying to get Livermore forward there into a decent, dangerous area. Hazard, challenged by Neon. They're not happy with that, the West Brom fans. Hazard went to ground, Neon claiming he got the ball. Michael Oliver had a good view. Taken short, here's Hazard. Matic, Fabregas, Hazard. Trying to thread it into the channel towards Costa.
You just wouldn't put it past West Brom, would you? The way they've done this half, 39 minutes gone, just to get a little sneaky set piece just before half time. Imagine that.
That's what they play for, isn't it? To an extent, they play to territory to get crosses in or set pieces to score from. They're by far the highest team, aren't they, in the league with set pieces? Set piece goals. Yeah, just ahead, one ahead of Chelsea. You know, particularly devastating that day. That one win in the last 9 since reaching 40 points against Arsenal. Here in that 3-1 win.
Yeah, whatever.
Still in the hunt for top 4 league.
Yeah.
Rondon. Who's had off last? West Brom get the decision.
Not even sure Rondon thought it was his free throw-in then.
He didn't look convinced.
Ironic cheers.
Celebrated like a goal. Field against Moses. There's been thin pickings recently at the Hawthorns. Is that ball out of play? Flag is up. It is a goal kick. West Brom have lost their last 3 here and 4 of their last 5. They hadn't scored a goal coming into tonight. At home for 4 hours and 45 minutes. They haven't lost 4 in a row at home in the league since 2006. Moses running at McLean. Into the area he goes. Fabregas back to Hazard. That's blocked. Rondon collects the loose ball. Finds Field. Rondon continues his run down the left-hand side. It hits his back. And he couldn't quite shift his momentum.
It looked like he got his foot caught in the turf there, which can be really dangerous, that.
So Pedro's been Chelsea's main man so far, isn't he, in this half? He's the only one who's really found space consistently. Moses. Matic. Here's Cahill. Hazard towards Costa. Johnny Evans does well. And then just beats Fabregas to the ball as well. McCauley chips it into the midfield. He was looking for Livermore, but it falls here to Alonso. Fabregas. Here's Hazard. Pedro. Just recycling the ball on the edge of the penalty area here, Chelsea. Against a packed and resolute Baggies defence. Who can unlock it? Ball into Costa on the right foot against McCauley. Got the shot away.
Very patient by Chelsea. I'm surprised he didn't get the ball wide. I mean, I'd be looking at Moses thinking, you know, get the ball to him and let him attack McLean, try and draw him into another foul. But the patience there. Initially, they give the ball away. Was that handball by Evans there?
Yeah, it was.
Only a little bit.
Playing a bit of basketball. I didn't see that live. Did either of you?
No, very well disguised. Yeah, I did. I just chose not to mention it.
Fair enough. Thought you might be looking after me. Rondon heads it on. Neon sends it back. Closing stages of this first half on the night that Chelsea could clinch the Premier League title with 3 points. Fabregas, the run being made down the middle by Pedro. Clearance by Macaulay. Fletcher. Now Field. Lovely reverse ball by Rondon. And there are men in the middle here. Brunt is there, and the sliding intervention from David Luiz. It's a corner.
Well, I've been massively critical of David Luiz over the years, positionally when he plays in a 4. Perfectly judged run back to his own goal and just cuts out that cross, sees the danger. He's had a good season as David Luiz.
Made the PFA Team of the Year for the first time, one of 4 Chelsea players to do so. Here comes the corner kick. Courtois thought about coming, then he realised it was sailing over everybody.
2 or 3 they've hit long from that right-hand side, haven't they? Left-hand side.
The Lexus stoppage time is 1 minute. Header well won by Macaulay. Didn't bounce kindly for Field. Neat turn by Rondon. Looked like handball against Moses. Well, it's party time in the stand on the far side.
Here you go. Hurry up with this one. Could be the last set piece of the game. We talked about the quality or the lack of it from wide areas from West Brom when they got in those crossing areas. And no one's saying, I'll go down and take it. No one seems to want to bother. It's Chris Brunt going over there. And again, he's normally got decent quality. Just look at Chelsea's line and just imagine 5 yards towards the penalty spot. That's exactly where you should be aiming this.
Into the second minute of time added on. Brunt sends it in. Rondon was there, got his left foot to it. Still there potentially for West Brom. Antonio Conte just wondering why the whistle hasn't blown. We play on. And he gets his wish. A big night for Chelsea, but so far they're being held. Only Cesar Azpilicueta has forced a save from Ben Foster. Eden Hazard has been busy. Coming up on Premier League half-time, Rebecca Lowe-Robiel.